to the first of my videos on Shay's uni topics. Today we're going to look at annotated bibliographies, which as you can see, I love. So what is an annotated bibliography? It is just an explanation of the sources that you're using and why you've chosen to use them or how this specific source supports your argument. Now, generally, this isn't required for your end of term essays or anything like that. This is more of an essay prep activity. Now, try to ignore how jaded I am. I am actually going to help you. I'm just very, very sleepy. A lot of things can be relevant to an annotated bibliography. As you can see in this handy dandy list, your professor should be cluing you in on what it is that they're actually looking for. So try and keep your work in line with that. This here is an example of your end goal. Try not to be too intimidated by this. We're going to work in steps to get to this point. First, you're going to want to confirm the referencing style that they're expecting from you. This is absolutely crucial in determining your formatting and how your bibliography is supposed to look overall. In line with this, set up a final document with the margins, fonts, spacing, etc. that the referencing style requires, just so you're good to go when you get there. And really start to play around with how you work best. Personally, I lay everything out in dot points and tables. I'm going to give you all of my examples, and you don't have to do it this way. It's purely intended as a bouncing off point to give you an idea of what you can do. And I find this helpful because it allows me to easily refer back to any information that I need while still allowing me to be a little bit chaotic, but ultimately keeping me on point, which I struggle with. And generally, you'll find that tailor-made visual rules and structure will stop you from feeling so overwhelmed, like there's so many things that you could say if only you could find the way to streamline it and put it down on the page. So you might find as well that such a method is helpful to you. I've thrown together a quick example of how I would use this based on coursework that I've done in the past. You can sort of see how I start to pull things together based on that and how I take notes on readings. Now you want to keep these on separate pieces of paper or separate parts of a document as opposed to lumping everything together on one page. Each source should have its own table, its own space, just so you can sort of compartmentalize that yourself. You want to be discerning. We're not writing the essay yet. We're just doing high-level dot points, so keep it brief, keep it simple. Eventually we're going to get to a paragraph, but we aren't there yet. Start with 3 to 5 dot points. Each of these is going to be a key point from the text that you're writing about, and tab under each dot point to make lesser dot point tabs for items relating to that dot point, as you can see I'm doing in the slides. Eventually we're going to add fluffy grammar words to make it resemble a sentence, and as you can see I sort of scribble on my dot points as well, just to really push out what it is that I have in my head. Sometimes I find that following in the confines of a structured page just does not work for me. Now, don't be afraid to make your sentences a little rigid or formulaic. The complexity of your writing really isn't important. You just want to answer the question. So you really can go X equals Y because Z with this. And try to keep your requirements for your assessment within a quick glance, just so you can keep yourself on topic. You might also find it helpful to keep headings on your document as you go, just to keep your paragraphs on topic. Everything is about staying on point instead of just letting yourself run free like the buffalo. And you can see that I've sort of done this here but haven't directly followed my own rules. Sometimes just having the rules there is enough to keep you focused, even if you don't necessarily follow them. Once you've narrowed down your actual paragraph, you're going to want to review this. One of the best things that I've found is to Control F apostrophes, just to make sure I haven't got any conjunctions in there, because academic writing isn't supposed to have that. So you want to make sure that is gone, because you may get marked down for it depending on your professor. Have someone have a look. Having a conversation about your subject matter is also really helpful, because it helps you cement your own understanding too. And you might find it helpful to have a voice recording app open while you do this and actually talk to someone about it who could question you on the subject, just to have a reference for you to go back to in case you do raise a really good point. You don't want to be a sim and kind of leave the room and come back and be like, oh, I actually forgot what that really salient point was and now it's gone forever. That's where I'm going to leave you for today. I've totally forgotten the other topics that I was going to cover, but I am sure that will come back to me when I do the next video. So do like, follow, whatever, if this is something that is of interest to you, and don't hesitate to ask me to do things, because clearly I will do them. Bye!